What's up?
Back with another episode of DBK Sports, Khalif.
Yes, sir.
And today we're going to be talking about top five centers, top five corners. We're going to be talking about who's more important, Westbrook or Harden. We're talking about these Madden ratings that just dropped and how blasphemous these were, Khalif.
Oh, yeah, they're so bad, man. We're going to get into them. But starting off, top of the show, we're going to start with a top five centers. For number one center, we got Joel Embiid averaging this year of a 23.4, 3.1 rate assist and 9 rebounds. I put Joel Embiid top of this list because Joel Embiid is the most dominant center in the NBA as of right now. He can shoot the ball, he can attack, he can defend the rim very well. And number two, we got Nikola Jokic averaging 20 points, 7 assists, and 10 rebounds, almost have a near triple-double. This guy is not carrying, but that Denver Nuggets team they got is very good. You can put him at point guard, and he would destroy a point guard. He had great IQ. He can shoot the ball, and he also is shooting over 60% from the field as a center. It was pretty good, impressive. For number three, we got the one and only Karl D. Towns. Karl D. Towns, last 4 years he's been in the league, having an amazing season. He got snubbed his first 2 years of the NBA also season, but this year he's averaging 26, 4 and 8, and he also was injured, so he didn't play a lot of games. But Cat really is a very, very great player. He also can defend, he can dribble, he can shoot. He also spread the floor. Besides the point of him not making a playoff, besides when Jimmy Butler left, and he kind of needs Jimmy Butler a little bit, but we'll see in the future where he got Daniel Russell right now. Coming at number 4 is Rudy Gobert up in Utah, the skyscraper. Defensive Player of the Year, front runner, with a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, averaging 15, 1 and 10. The skyscraper, man. All I'd say is pick and roll, lob it up, defend the room very, very well. And him and Utah having a great thing right now with him, Donovan Mitchell, and Iman Conley, and other players on that team. Coming in at number 5 is Nikola Vucevic, averaging 19, 3 and 8. That's an Orlando man right there. He's carrying Orlando. I'm pretty sure Orlando was like top 10 in the stands. He's a very good center. Like I say, he can also shoot. He can also defend well. He can rebound. He can also score. He'll back you down and hit post fades. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead, Danny.
All right, so my top five is a little bit different compared like that. Number 1, I have Nikola Jokic instead of Embiid. When you look at the stats are very comparable. Jokic is averaging 20, 10, and 7, when Embiid is averaging 23, 12, and 3. What I think sets them apart is just the team success and how I feel like Jokic's game is tendered more towards winning than Embiid's game is, especially with Ben Simmons on the team. We'll get to that later, though. Number 2 is Embiid. For obvious reasons, I think those who are the top 2, obviously. Number 3 is Karl Anthony Towns. Great numbers, 27, 11, and 4. Probably the best numbers on this list. He's a 40% three-point shooter for the last 3 years. He's made 2 All-Star games. I feel like he is probably the most talented player out of all these. The only thing holding him back is that he doesn't win.
Yeah, don't win at all.
And then number 4, I'm going to go with Bam over Rudy Gobert and Vucevic for the simple reason of his winning and how he contributes to it. I feel like he's like the perfect new center. He can pass the ball, probably second to Jokic at passing the ball as a center. He can shoot. He doesn't do it as much as he should, but he should start shooting more. And he's just a very overall good center. He can protect the paint. He can run the floor, unlike other centers. I have him at 4. And at 5, I have Rudy Gobert because, obviously he's the best paint protector in the league. He's probably one of the best lob threats in the league off the pick and roll. But I have him at 4, below Bam Adebayo, just because I feel like Bam Adebayo is more versatile on the court.
Well, so you got Bam Adebayo, I got Rudy Gobert on the top list. I feel like Rudy Gobert can spread the floor out. Like, he can shoot. If he had a mid-range game, he would be a great 7'3" sniper if he had a mid-range game. I know despite the fact that Bam can shoot, but I feel like I feel like Rudy Gobert, you set a pick and just throw it up. He can back you down. He can defend well. I feel like, yeah, add a little bit shooting to his game would be even better. He'd be a top 3 center in the league.
Yeah, and that's why I don't have Rudy Gobert, but Bam Adebayo, I feel like he's limited on offense. When Bam Adebayo gets his ways, he gets his points, more efficient. I wouldn't say more efficiently, but in more ways than Rudy Gobert does. Rudy Gobert is strictly a lob threat where he gets the rebound and puts it back up. As opposed to Bam Adebayo, he gets assists, he can run the floor, he can take you off the dribble, he can do much more. His offensive game is more developed than Rudy Gobert's is.
All right.
When it comes to you having Embiid over Jokic, you mentioned how Embiid can shoot.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like Embiid's shooting is overrated. I feel like he needs to stop shooting, to be honest. He's a 32% three-point shooter, and that drops down in the playoffs to under 30%. And sometimes in the playoffs, they lose because he decides to jack up shots, and he's missing a lot of them. When in reality, he's probably the best post-up player in the league, and he needs to get in the post.
But one thing I gotta say from B is he would come up with clutch shots in the 3. If you down by 3 points or 6 points, he can come up and shoot that 3. And his energy brings it. He'll get in your head, make you cause a foul, then shoot free throws for the Sixers. That's one thing I like about Embiid. He gets in people with heads, and he also come up in the clutch.
See, I feel like Jokic's game is all around better than Embiid's. I feel like Embiid is a better scorer. He's a better post-up player than Jokic, but I feel like every other aspect of their offensive game, Jokic is way better, and he's a way better passer. He's one of the best passers in the league at the center position. His offensive game, I feel like he can shoot better than Embiid, even though Embiid is still a decent shooter. He can shoot better than Embiid. I wouldn't say his post-up game is better, but his post-fade and post-hook game is better than Embiid's. Just that stuff, and his team wins more in the regular season, like that.
I feel like if the Sixers Sixers trade away like Ben Simmons or Joe Embiid, that Embiid can build a team around Embiid while having Ben Simmons on the team, where Ben Simmons have a little lower amount of stats than Embiid, because Embiid takes more shots and take more things than spreading the floor with Ben Simmons. That's why I come from the hardest.
Yeah, and when you look at Embiid's stats in the regular season compared to the playoffs, like let's take last year for example. He dropped down 7 points per game from the regular season to the playoffs. In the regular season last year, he averaged 27 points a game. In the playoffs, he averaged 20. So I feel like Ben Simmons is holding him back a little bit because of the lack of spacing on the floor and how he can shoot. I feel like they're both holding each other back. I feel like Ben Simmons would be a much greater player on a different team, and it goes the same for Embiid.
Yeah, same way. I feel the same. I feel the exact same way, because I feel like if Ben Simmons go to a team, let's say you go to a team like, we say put him on a team for like, let's say the Knicks. He can run the ball. He can run the offense. He need to add one thing. That one thing is a shooting ability. He need to add a shooting ability for that team to win. And Embiid can stay in Philly where they can build around him, and you see Embiid just get injured too much. He get injured too much. That's one thing I hope out from Embiid.
Yeah, this is true. All right, but going on to the next topic for today, we're going to stay in the NBA, and we're going to go to Houston. Who do you think is more important for the Rockets' playoff success? Russell Westbrook or James Harden?
You want to go?
Yeah, I'll start with this one. So for me, initially I had Russell Westbrook, but now I have James Harden. Okay. And for the simple fact, because James Harden is their best player, he's going to be getting the shots in clutch time due to Westbrook's inability to shoot the ball at times, because he's a 25% three-point shooter. I feel like Harden overall is more important to that team's success because of what he does for the team, especially in the playoffs. There's going to be a lot of moments in the clutch where you're going to need those big shots. I feel like Harden will be the one delivering that more often than Westbrook is.
Yeah. I feel the same. I have picked James Harden too because I feel like James Harden is that Houston Rockets offense. If you really think about it, the last 3 years before they even had Westbrook and they had CP3, James Harden also carried that team to the playoffs and won second round, lost first round against Dame Lillard. Then he went to I think the next year in the conference finals they lost to Curry. But Curry, yeah, they went to Curry, and he also carried that team with a lot of players that also played like Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, his shot's not there, but if he develops a shot, we can rely on him taking the Rockets all the way.
Yeah, and another reason why Harden is more important than Westbrook, in my opinion, is because if he's making his shots, they're most likely going to win the game. If he's missing them, they're going to lose the game. So I feel like this offense and the entire team runs on James Harden's ability to make these shots. As you saw against the Warriors, when he was making the shots, they were beating that team, which is an all-time great team. But when they missed the shots in Game 7 especially, because in that first half, he was making the shots.
Yeah.
But in the second half, they missed 27 straight threes, which is what ultimately caused them to lose that game.
Yeah.
So I feel like if Harden's hot or cold, he's hot and cold in the playoffs. Yeah, because if you look at his regular season stats, they're 34, 6, and 8. 34 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to his playoff stats, it's 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. Harden's inability to step up in those playoff games, I feel like this year, especially with the Lakers and Clippers, he's going to need that more than ever.
Yeah.
I have him above him because if you look at Westbrook's playoff stats too, they don't go down as much as Harden does. In fact, they go up. So I feel like Harden is the key to these playoffs.
Yeah, because like most analysts say, they will pick Russell Westbrook over James Harden because that he made his first round every year, but even without KD. But if you really think about it, James Harden is carrying a team where they didn't have a lot of people. They was always relying on James Harden to shoot them threes. Like you said, if he's hot, they win the game. If he's cold, they lose the game. So they had to rely on that hot and cold streak with James Harden to win those playoff games or win the regular season games.
Yeah. All right, but next we're gonna go on to the NFL side of things, and we're gonna switch over to our top 5 corners in the NFL. Please.
You going first? Oh, yeah, okay.
No.
All right, for my number 5, I have the one and only. It's not playing. Denzel Ward. This guy right here came in from LSU. He has 31 catching on a 69 target with 426 yards, 1 touchdown, and he had 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, which just good for him because like how he plays, he covers these wide receivers really good. And he also is a young, talented cornerback. Yeah. For my next one, I have Jalen Ramsey. This guy right here, man. One thing I say is he can cover big guys like Julio Jones. You got DeAndre Hopkins. You got Odell Beckham Jr. He will get in your face. He will play you man to man. He also, in 2018, was one of the best DBs in the league. If you know, was the best DB in the league with a 32.6 catch rate with a 25% red zone last season. He got traded. He didn't like Jaguars. He got traded to Jaguars, and he had some impact on the Rams defense. Going in for number 3 is Tre'Davious White from Buffalo. This guy right here, all I say is he can cover your guys man to man. Even though when they played the Texans, kind of had DeAndre Hopkins on a hold, and that defense hold up, but they also lost the game. Like the fourth quarter against DeAndre Hopkins, where John Watson, where they try to sack him and just keep him through the ball, and they lost the game. Coming out at number 2, Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman came over Achilles injury, came back to the 49ers. They were 49ers. That defense last year, something else. We got Joey Bosa, you got Richard Sherman, DJ Buckner, Richard Sherman was holding them guys down last year. And coming in number 1, Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore, Defensive Player of the Year. Left Buffalo, came back to that Belichick defense, and won Defensive Player of the Year of last year. With 90 target with him was 97. He gave up 48 catches, 1 touchdown, and 6 interceptions with a pass rating of 50. He also was playing man-to-man coverage last year. And that's my top 5.
All right. So we're going to go into my top 5. It's much different from your top 5. I'll put it like that. And starting my top 5, we have Casey Hayward out of Los Angeles. And when you look at Casey Hayward, he has had an up and down career. He started his career on a high note in Green Bay with a 7-pick season in his rookie year, and he didn't even start all those games. But why I really have him at number 5 over options like Richard Sherman, who was not on this list, and Marlon Humphrey, who is not on this list, is because of his consistency in the later part of his career. For these past 3-4 years, he has been probably the most consistent corner. These last 2 years, he's earned an 83 and a 91 grade from Pro Football Focus, which are 2 of the highest grades that you can get for a corner. He's allowed a 49% completion percentage when targeted and a 69% pass rating when targeted, which is some of the lowest numbers out of every corner in the league, probably top 3 lowest numbers. So that's why I have him above players like Richard Sherman. Going to number 4, it's an ad, of course. Going to number 4 is Marcus Peters, who in his career it's also been up and down like Casey Hayward. He started his career on the Chiefs on a high note. I think he had 8 interceptions in his rookie year, was first team All-Pro. He was looking like he was going to be probably one of the best corners of all time. And then he got traded to the Rams, and he had one of his worst seasons of his career. And when you see him get traded back to the Ravens, all of a sudden, in 9 games, he has 3 interceptions, 10 pass breakups, and 2 touchdowns. Gets back to his old form. So I don't think that it was the player who was misperforming in Los Angeles. I think it was more of the system that he was in. Because if you look at his career, he's averaging 5.5 interceptions per season, which is the highest out of any quarterback in the NFL, which is why I have him at number 4. Going to number 3 is Jalen Ramsey. All right? Jalen Ramsey. Last year was not his best year. I will say that. But the past 2 years, he did have a 91 Pro Football Focus grade, which is the highest out of any corner for a 2-year stretch. He's a first-team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler, and there was a quote from ESPN a few days ago, but in a Tyreek Hill segment, they said that nobody presses Tyreek Hill, and if you are, you either have safety help or it's Jalen Ramsey, because he will press you and he will get up in your face and talk to you because he doesn't care.
Yeah,
you know that. All right. Number 2, best corner in the league is Tre'Davious White. And going into last season, you wouldn't think that Tre'Davious White would be here. He had a pretty good rookie season. And his sophomore season, he had a little bit of a sophomore slump. But going into his 3rd year is when it really started taking off. He had a 90 Pro Football Focus grade for his 3rd year, 52% completion percentage when targeted, and a 42 passer rating when targeted, which is the lowest out of anybody in the NFL. He did not let up 1 touchdown last year in coverage, which is also why he's decided number 2. He was tied for 6 interceptions, which led the league with our number 1 player, who is obviously the best defensive player in the league last year, is Stephon Gilmore, who led the league with 6 interceptions alongside Tre'Davious White. Has had 91 Pro Football Focus grades, which is tied for the highest alongside of Jalen Ramsey and Casey Hayward. 49% completion percentage when targeted, which is the lowest out of anybody on this list, with a 49 passer rating when targeted, which is the 2nd lowest out of anybody on this list. He is the 2nd corner to win MVP, well, not MVP, to win Defensive Player of the Year since Charles Woodson in 2007. He is the best man corner in the league. He is the best zone corner in the league. And when he switched from Buffalo to New England, I think that was obvious, and that was probably the best choice that he's ever made in his life, going to that Bill Belichick system, which fits him perfectly. And which is why I have Stephon Gilmore as the number one best corner in the league over everybody. Now, when we look at the honorable mentions, there's 3 players that I want to point out in particular for one reason. One is going to be Richard Sherman, and the other 2 are the 2 Steelers cornerbacks, Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson. The reason that they are not on this list is because I feel like they're helped out greatly by their pass rush. The 49ers and the Steelers are both the 2 best pass rushing teams in the league. When you look at Nick Bosa, Forrest Buckner, Solomon Thomas, all those on the 49ers. And then when you go over to the Steelers and you look at TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, which are the 2 best pass rushers in the league, that helps them out greatly because when you're pass rushing, getting to the quarterback fast, quarterback, he didn't have much time to get that to the receivers. So that's the only reason that they're not on this list. Above players that are on this list.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's my top 5 corners.
You put was it Casey Hayward? I was gonna put Casey Hayward, but I feel like Greedy Williams will be a great corner in these next couple of years. I feel like Casey Hayward will be good, but I feel like Greedy Williams will be Denzel Ward will be a great corner. As a young corner, he's still developing. He's still going to learn how to move with the wide receivers, and I feel like that he will be up there with touchdowns and interceptions. Interceptions and Patrick on pickups.
Yeah, I can see his potential being that high, but as of right now, if you ask me who I want, I don't think there's any question that I would rather have Casey Hayward lining up on the outside against the other team's number 1 receiver than Denzel Ward, who has in his career he's had his bright spots and his not bright spots. He had a very good rookie season. His sophomore season was but that's why I had Casey Hayward over Denzel Ward.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, but moving on to something a little bit more fun. We're going to be talking about these Madden ratings that just came out and how horrendous these Madden ratings were. We're talking about our top 3 worst Madden ratings. And Khalees, you want to start off?
Yeah, let's start these off right now. This is the worst Madden ratings I've ever seen in a couple of years. Coming at number 1 is MVP candidate TJ Watt. TJ Watt's an 86 overall. I don't know how he's an 86 overall, but he should be a little higher than 86 overall. He was averaging 14.5 sacks this year. Despite his rookie season having 13.5 sacks, he's an 86 overall. So does not add up to me in Madden or EA. Coming number 2 is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, 95 overall. I feel like he should be in the 99 club because, first off, he broke the most running back rushing yards. Then he has one of the best teams. Then he's a Madden athlete. How you not be a 99 overall on that team? Yeah, Deshaun Watson at number 3. Deshaun Watson is an 86 overall. And he also led Texans back in the game versus Buffalo where they was down. It was the only time to win the game. And he had a tie with Josh Allen and Russell Wilson for the most passing yards. And I don't get how he's in 86 overall.
All right. So my top 3 is also very similar to yours. I'm just going to go a little bit more in depth with my descriptions and why they're not like that. So my number 1 worst Madden rating is easily TJ Watt at an 86 overall. When you look at TJ Watt, he was 2nd for Defensive Player of the Year last year. He is a first-team All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler, had 14.5 sacks last season, 14 tackles for loss, led the league in forced fumbles for the past 2 years, and he is an 86 overall. I think that he should at least be in like a 91, 92 overall. But for him to be 6 spots below where he should be is horrible. He is like the 7th or 8th highest player on the Steelers when he's clearly the Steelers' best player.
Yeah.
To me, that just makes no sense at all. My number 2 worst Madden rating is actually Darius Leonard from the Colts. And he's an 85 overall. He's played 2 seasons, and in his first 2 seasons in the league, he has had 7 interceptions and 12 sacks. He led the league in tackles his first year and tackles for loss. He was a first-team All-Pro. He's a first-team All-Pro, a 2-time Pro Bowler, and he is an 85 overall. Once again, I feel like he should be at least a 90 to 91 overall. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year when he played. 85 overall is kind of horrible for him. And then 3 is Deshaun Watson, just like you, at an 86 overall. He's a lower overall than Matt Ryan. But I think if you ask, if you were to ask 100 people, 99, at least 99 of them would say that Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Matt Ryan. I think that he's a consensus top 10 quarterback in the league. If you ask anybody, Matt Ryan may be a top 10 quarterback in the league. And then if you compare him to more quarterbacks, he's 4 spots lower than Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Well, I think that he's debatably better than both those quarterbacks. 4 spots lower is horrible. I can see if he was maybe 1 or 2 spots lower than them, but he's not.
Yeah.
And then we're going to compare him to one more player. He is 7 spots lower than Drew Brees. Drew Brees is a 93 overall. Deshaun Watson is an 86. So if we're looking at where he should be, he should at least be a 91 or 92 overall.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree.
But you mentioned Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
And see, I don't think that he should even be on this list because he's a 94 overall, which I think is perfectly fine. And the reason for that is because he has had one good year, right? He had no playoff success at all. He's been in 2 playoff games, and he's been exposed in both of them, scoring less than 13 points in both of them. After 1 year, I just can't see him being higher than 94 overall. And keep in mind, 94 overall is like the 3rd highest rated quarterback in the game, which I think he's the 3rd best quarterback in the league, right?
Yeah.
94 overall is a very high rating. It's one of the highest ratings out of any player in the game, especially for his 3rd year. And 94 overall is just right.
But I feel like he should be higher because of the team success he had besides the postseason. Yeah, he got exposed them 2 years. He got exposed by the Titans first year, second year. But him leading that team to a 13-3 win, the losses, they having rushing yards and passing the ball, also being MVP, and in a matter of correction, he deserved a little bit higher, but 95, 94 should be great for him for his 3rd season in the NFL.
Yeah, because when you look at what Mahomes did, it's similar to Lamar Jackson. Mahomes last year was only like a 94, 95 to start the year as well in Madden. And Mahomes had 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns and was a pre-snap penalty away from going to the Super Bowl in his first year. He was 94. That year was way better than what Lamar did last year. And you say he's had great team success outside of the postseason. The postseason is where it matters. You can win in the regular season all you want. If you're not winning in the postseason, what does it do?
Oh.
Which is why I think that 94 is perfect, and that he stopped complaining on Twitter about it. Yeah, that's why I didn't have him on this list. Another player that's low is also Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Minkah Fitzpatrick had an 87 overall, which is also blasphemous. And Saquon Barkley at an 89 overall. He's not even a 90 overall, and he's arguably the best running back in football.
Let me go right here for this one right here. They rate him at an 89 overall. This man Saquon came back from injuries, had 1,000 yards. How do you not rate him higher than a 90? 1,000 yards. He carried that team, that horrible team in the Giants where the offensive alignment was horrible with 1,000 yards. Then you got Minkah Fitzpatrick where he come in from a team like Miami Dolphins that was one of the worst teams in the league last year to go into the Pittsburgh Steelers where they were a top 5 defense. Minkah Fitzpatrick and Saquon deserve a higher rating on the team. NFL.
Yep. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. We'll see you back tomorrow when it's going to get a little bit special with the NBA because we're done with the position series. We're going to go into a different kind of top 5 for the NBA, which you will see tomorrow.
Tough.
Yep.
See you tomorrow.